Hey y'all, so I have had some questions since the last video about how am I making it, how am I doing it here on my own without the kids, and truth is pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself. I mentioned in the last video that this is one of the first times that I've been completely on my own. So we have been on a lot of trips. I don't want to make you think that you can't ever leave your farm or homestead once you start or whatever. It's just a lot of times those are together and we get a farm sitter. We have someone thankfully trustworthy that will take care of everything for us when we're gone. So just wanted to clear that up. We've left a bunch of times and you can too, but it's just not usually everybody except me. So here we are. But thankfully I've kept everyone alive. Everyone's doing great. I'm gonna attempt today to do something that we're just gonna have to see how this goes. I need to go back to the back and move the cows. Not only move the cows, they love to move forward. We rotationally graze in half for years, but one area, I guess you would say, they struggle is turning corners. I have no idea why. When we get to the back of the field, something about it, at least a few of them. Now, a lot of them will follow you everywhere, but in the past, there'll be a few stragglers that just turning the corner to turn and come up the other side blows their mind. So we're gonna see how this goes, especially since I'm gonna be by myself. But we're gonna give it a whirl. Gotta move them and also gotta move the water. Just, there's several steps to it that Lane is always taking care of. And gonna be honest, I've probably taken that for granted a little bit. So here we go. I know I'm gonna get comments about the dust. The dust you're seeing in the past, yes, we used a powdered feed and the dust would be from the feed. This is just dust. It is dusty. It's just all of a sudden so rainy and just the rain is shut off. It's super dry here. We could use a good weekend or few days of rain, a slow soaking rain. We had that shower you saw in the last video and it just soaked right in. Later that day, you couldn't even tell it had rained. So just wanted to mention that because I know we'll get comments on that and kind of wanted to explain where we were coming from. So I wanted to share something with you. We've got 2 litters of old spot piglets out here in the barn. We have them trapped in here for the moment because they were just born in the last week or so. And leaving them out in the field to farrow and then the days after has just spelled disaster for us a few times. So they're in here until at least the piglets get like a week or so old. They're about ready to go out, but it gives the mom a place to get by herself and not be bothered. We've had other sows lay on piglets. We've had boars lay on piglets. We've had a boar one time kill piglets, just things like that. So that's why they're in here. They are thriving. They're thriving in here. They're growing. They're not out, you know, getting stepped on and sunburned and all those things. But we're having trouble keeping up with the water because it is so hot and dusty and dry here. So Ben rigged up a nipple water system. I'm gonna see if you can see it over there on the wall. There's a hook into our main water line that we laid to go back to our cows. Hook that in. But it takes them a bit to find that. They will smell water and they will eventually find it, but I wanted them to find it. And the piglets are also trying to drink any that drips down, so I could tell they were thirsty. So I want them to find it. Instead of just, if I keep putting bowls of water, they're not gonna be trying to look. So I have to let them get a little thirsty, and we're at that point. And so I just wanna make sure they're not going without water or getting too little water. So one trick is I took just old-fashioned peanut butter. Don't buy the fancy stuff. You're gonna just use this to, it's gonna drip on the ground, you're gonna rub it all around. So just get cheap peanut butter, put you a latex glove on if you have them, some sort of glove, because it's gonna get sticky and all over you if you don't. And just slather it up on there, on that nipple waterer. They came right to it. They'll smell it, they love peanut butter. It doesn't hurt them at all, and it gets them saying, hey, there's water coming out of here, and pretty much problem solved. If you have a whole litter like we do, I've got the jar of peanut butter out here. I'll probably do it, you know, a few days in a row just because just because one found it, I want them all to find it. They'll kind of see one start drinking out of it. Chicks are the same way, and they'll get curious and kind of, if one finds it, they kind of all find it, but I want to make for certain. Also, don't know if you can see that feeder. That's actually a waterer, but I'm putting the feed in it. It goes in just an old tire, a tire that you'd be like, what do I do with this now? You put it in there, and then that fits perfectly down in like a full-size tire, and they can't push it around as easy. They can, but they won't. It's heavier and just more stable, so keeps them from flipping their feed, or really it's made for water. Keeps them from flipping their water just right off the bat. They're barking at me. And we have flies. That's another issue all in itself. Hard to find good organic fly control too. So it's kind of, you're left with options of deal with the flies or spray, and sometimes the sprays might not be desirable. So that's where we are. Back here, almost to the cows. I'm putting up the wire and trying to watch my step because there's snakes this time of year. One tip I'd have if you're going to rotationally graze, as you can afford it, get extra wires, get extra reels to be able to set up in front of where they're going, so that you're not always having to set up wires. And on like a day-to-day basis, you can actually get ahead, because there's times that things come up, things happen. It's storming, whatever the case may be, where you don't want to be out there for a while every single day. Not that it takes a long time, but just, I promise you, I can't even think of all the instances at this moment, but if you get some extra reels and wires, you'll be glad you did. Also, don't forget to put a jumper on there to electrify it, to jump from whatever your hot wire is to the new wire you're putting up. Done that many times. Don't forget, it's very important. Well, this is a good sign. They're all right up here. I'm hoping they're gonna walk in, because right behind y'all is kind of the corner they have to turn and then go that way, heading back up towards our house. For some reason, they've never liked this turn, but we have a really good group right now that's really all pretty calm, so we're gonna hope that they come through just fine. These two bulls, oh, it's time for bulls to go in, but we were going to move them back up. The bulls are in like a bachelor pad up a mile that way. That's the way these are going. When they got up there, we were gonna put them in, but I hate to reward bad behavior, but I guess these two are going in today, because it's that or me move them a mile by themselves, and they're fixing to go in anyway, so guess we will. Well, the bulls took off, lost their chance. I guess they're gonna stay there for today, because they're between two fences. They got out of their paddock, which we might have robbed the jumper off of, so it might not have actually been hot. It's probably why they did it. Plus, cows in heat will drive a bull to do things they wouldn't normally do, but I have a feeling that their wire wasn't hot, so, but they took back off, and they're contained between two wires. They're gonna probably go in with the cows tomorrow anyway, so I'm not gonna stress about that. So went perfectly. Now all I gotta do is move this water and I'm done. Good morning. So another day, another dollar, I guess you'd say. I'm out here. Thankfully, this is Ben's day off, so he is here to help me. Gonna take you guys out, kind of show you what he's doing. I wound up getting the cows moved, got them moved pretty much by myself, well, all by myself. Didn't get them that day I showed you completely moved. I got most of them, but a few calves didn't come through. I think I told you guys that I thought they would come through, and most of them did, all but 2. So went out the next day. By then they were hungry, they were ready to get to their mama, so got them moved pretty much no problem, and I got the bulls moved in too. So now we are going out today. I'm doing the rest of the feeding, and we're going out. We're gonna get those cows moved up even further, closer to the bulls. That's kind of the point of this. We're merging the cows and the bulls together, and then they'll kind of start going back towards the back again. And they're gonna spend the summer back on what used to be our hay fields and will be again. But if you've been around here a while, we're cutting hay up in fields that we've never cut for hay before. They have been cut for hay, but not by us. So we're cutting those, putting some seeds and fertilizing different kinds of things on those. They need a boost. They are our grazing pastures, but for this year, they're our hay fields, and just trying to get them in the best shape possible, because the best grass, the best forages you have for your animals, they're grass-based animals. A lot of people talk about feeding them out on grain, and I think if you're not really thinking about it or just don't know, you might think that means they eat completely grain. That's just not true. All cows eat grass. They have to have some forage, some roughage. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're getting them up here, getting them together, doing a couple things we need to do to the cows while we're up here, and then we're gonna get them back off this field and continue to try to improve the soil, improve the seed bank and things that we have to grow good grasses and good forages. Found a good looking helper over there. Got the cows up here. Got the bulls with them. So step 1 is done. We've got them up here. They're gonna stay up here for just a bit, and we're gonna get the things done over the next couple weeks that we need to before we move them back again. We've noticed we got flies really bad. It seems like it's gonna be a really bad year for flies. Already got one with pink eye. That just happens here a lot. It's transported by flies. Your neighbors could get it. Flies could bring it over to your herd. Whole nother video, but needless to say, we already have pink eye. So need to look into that situation. Getting bulls in. You can see this bull we got last year. He was pretty much from a farm. We were pretty much sure he just didn't have enough to eat. He has turned into a really good looking bull. Really impressed with him. He is a registered South Pole. And then let me see if I can find the other one. All right, I'm gonna take you up to see this other one. He came from a registered South Pole sale that Ben went to. He's got some sass. I'm gonna show y'all him. He's not mean or anything. He's just, we kind of have to keep our eye on him. He's young, and he's just feisty. I don't know how else to say it. He'll kind of stare you down a little bit. He's not done anything, but he's a bull. He's pretty though. Hey girl. Hey.
I did it, Mom. I did it all by myself. I got them all the way from the back, all the way up here. Not one major problem. That's miraculous.
I have survived this week. I'm pretty proud of myself. Got the cows moved, and now Ben's got them ultimately moved, at least for the moment. Feel like we did pretty good, and we will be seeing you guys on the next video. gonna show you some of the things that I do with the cows while they're up here. If you move your cows like this to like summer grazing, there's some things you probably want to think about doing when you get the opportunity to work them, to put them through a corral or whatever the case may be. So I'll show you guys all that. Thanks for coming along. Going to check the last pen of animals for the day, and I'm calling it quits. I'm actually going in to edit this video. I'll see you guys later. God bless.